Hi guys, this is Shannon from Reptile Way and welcome back to our channel. It's so good to have you here for another build video. Now this build video again is another Lord of the Rings inspired build, and there are so many ruins throughout the movie, and especially Osgiliath. That's a really good place to draw some inspiration for your future builds. But don't get put off by this build looking a little bit tricky when you see the final product, because if you just follow along with this video, it's actually quite easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time and effort. But without further ado, let's get into this build. We're starting off with this build using some simple packing foam, a pen, a ruler, and we're really going to plan out all the detailing, plan out all the layers of the building, so the lines across are sort of like the levels. And then you want to plan out your brickwork, where your archways are going to go. And that's just going to mean it's going to have a little bit more symmetry. It's going to look like once upon a time you had a great architect that put some love into this building. And we're going in with that hot wire cutter, and you can use a knife, but the hot wire cutter just allows you to add more detailing, a lot less mess, and there's different attachments that come on the hot wire cutter. So there was that attachment I was using before, but then also you'll see me use like a wand attachment as well, and this is really good for providing extra detail, extra brickwork, thinning out of the walls, because when you use a knife on this foam, it sort of has, you can see the individual circles, the individual spheres that make up the foam, and that will just come out with the knife, whereas you can see there's more smooth edges with the hot wire cutter. And this point in the build, it's really good for having a play around. You can see I'm drawing lines for the bricks, changing it, and you're not going to see your pen work, so have an explore. It doesn't matter if you mess up or you draw something and you don't like it. It's actually a good place to sort of see what you think is going to look more realistic, what's going to represent ruins better. So with your pen, have a play around with different ideas, and then you can pick the best idea when it gets to the stage of cutting it out. And this is the final pen design, which I'm happy with, so I'm going to start cutting it out with that wand attachment, carving out those archways, and this attachment's really good for that. And it doesn't matter where you buy your hot wire cutter, lots of them comes with different attachments. This one was just a cheap one from Amazon. And now it's time to add that detailing to this panel once it's cut out. I was using the wand to do the long sections of the brickwork, but then I switched to the other attachment, which works really well for doing, I guess, these parts of the bricks, and then I can switch back to the wand to do those more finer details. Now we're going to sink in those walls. and I want like the archways, whether they're doorways, windowways, to be pronounced. So you can use the wand to sink in the walls, add that rough texture. Because I don't know if any of you guys have walked across or walked past old buildings and you run your hand along it, and some of them have that really rough texture, especially the ruins, because the elements, the wind, the rain has been ripping at it for however many years, and those walls do cop a bit of a beating. So I thought this was a good way to, I guess, add that to make it look a little bit more realistic. And this is that panel complete. And I did look at it and think, oh, I can add a little bit more detail here and there, make it look like that wall is almost having a hole protrude through it. But this is another side panel, again using the exact same techniques. I'm doing another panel as well. Now we've got all these pieces, but to make it look a little bit more realistic, it's really good to add a floor. So we're going to add a cobblestone looking floor that looks like it's falling apart. And the wand is really good for this on the hot wire cutter, because you can add all those little cobblestones, all those detailing, and this part is worth it because it does come up really nicely towards the end after the grouting and the paintwork, and it just makes it look like a little bit more like ruins, but it'll add texture for your lizard or snake, and really good for when they're shedding, and also texture is enrichment for your reptiles. But there we go. That's that section finished, well, almost finished. I'm going to add another panel that will go on the floor that we've just put in to make it sort of give the illusion this was a multi-level building and most of it has fallen down. It's up to you what glue you want to use. For me, I'm using a hot glue gun, but you can use silicone as well. Now this is the other piece that I made, but I didn't show you how I made it because it's the same techniques. It's got a nice cave under there too, which will be really good for your animal to curl up in. Now the grouting. So we're starting off with a thick pancake consistency of grouting. I like to start off with a thicker layer and they get thinner and thinner. I'm using small brushes though, so I can get into all those cracks and grooves and trying to keep that detailing. So thick layer with the first layer, and I'm using just a grey colour, and I think it's a light grey as well that I'm using. And this will mean it'll be good for when you do the paintwork as well. It's a good base. But yes, I did about 2 to 3 layers of grout, thick layer, and then the next layer a bit thinner, last layer thinner. And then after each layer, I do this dabbing to keep that rough sort of concrete texture. And again, it adds texture for your reptile. And now once the grout is almost dry but a little bit damp, this is the best time for carving. To carve those extra details in the windowways, archways, to carve the brickwork, even cracks in the walls. Really good just to add again that little bit more detailing that will really pop up when you do the painting. And this is the pieces once they've got all of the 3 layers of grout on them, so you can see it's starting to look like ruins. And again, we can see there's a nice cave, but the grout is completely covering everything. There's no foam exposed, which is good, but it's looking a little odd. I think there needs to be something in the center here to tie these 2 pieces together. So I'm almost creating like a bit of a walkway, And again, having this means that your reptile's gonna have increased surface area. So it's gonna be able to go underneath as well as on top. So you're increasing that surface area that your reptile can move. And snakes and lizards love hiding spots. And I'd say this is a really good design for baby lizards or even children's pythons, baby children's pythons. You can just scale up this design as well. This one's quite a small one, so it'll work well for a tub setup if you've got a new snake or a baby lizard. It can work well for a variety of reptiles. And now we're creating the stilts that this is going to sit on, so it's just bits of foam glued together. But again, you can use hot glue gun or silicone. Once you've done all the layers, the animal's not going to be able to get to the glue. So that's why I just went with a hot glue gun. But if you do want to err on the side of caution, say if your animal has a history of chewing the enclosure, maybe go with the aquarium grade silicone. But I'm adding detail to these stilts. Grouted that, and now we've grouting some of the other pieces we've cut out with the hot wire cutter, which is rocks, bits of the floor that's fallen down. And when you see ruins, there's rubble around it. So that's what we're trying to create here. All the rubble that's around it that makes you believe that, oh, this is a set of ruins. It's decaying, it's still falling down. Look at all the pieces around it. And now we're on to the painting stage, so you just need some water, some black paint, and we're gonna do pretty much a black wash over the entire thing. And if you want it to be darker, you just add more paint or a thicker consistency. But I still like to keep mine quite runny, and this just means the paint can run into all the grooves. It can also allow it to have that like when water's been running over rocks as well. So yeah, this is sort of the start of the painting stage, and you're going to sort of add detail over the top, and you can go way more detailed than what I'm going to show you in this video if you like. There is the black wash finish. Now we're going to go with dry brushing. You just need white and black acrylic paint. Mix it to different shades of grey. Start with a darker grey and then go lighter, progressing to white. And then you dry brush over the pieces. So it means the paint's only hitting the raised surfaces. And you want to make sure that your piece is completely dry though before you start doing dry brushing technique. And now we're doing the waterproofing. And with this, be really careful because the waterproofing dampens the whole piece and it can make it, I guess, feel a bit more prone to breaking. So just be careful. I flip the pieces over, do the bottom first. Now I'm doing the top, and it just works a little bit better that way. And I've got this tree from Spotlight that's just gonna add a bit more foliage to this bare set of ruins, and this tree looks nice and realistic. Pull it out from the pot, cut this bottom thing off, make sure you wash it as well, and we're ready to show you the final product. Here is our final set of ruins. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. I really do hope it does help you out, gives you a little bit of inspiration as well as the know-how for your future builds. And if you did like the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, hit subscribe as well. It'll really help our small channel out. But we'll see you next time. Bye guys.